Have you ever looked back at a season of your life and realized that certain people had more influence over you than you thought?
The people around us can shape our mindset, our decisions, and even the direction of our lives.
The right people can encourage growth. The wrong influence can quietly keep us stuck.
Today, we're talking about influence, relationships, boundaries, and why it's important to be intentional about who has access to our lives.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Room 47 Podcast. I'm Elijah.
And I'm Naomi. Okay, so today's episode is called Who's Influencing Your Life? And the first topic reads, can the wrong people delay your growth?
Do you think certain friendships or relationships can keep you from becoming who God is calling you to be?
And for me, that answer is yes. So if a relationship is keeping you from who God is calling you to be, that's a little bit of a problem, because if they can't respect you maturing spiritually, then that is a red flag for me.
Yeah, definitely.
And that is a sign that maybe you should distance yourself from said person or said relationship.
Yeah.
Now, if they support your spiritual growth, that can only come with them also being spiritually mature, then keep it. It's good to stay with that person that's supporting you, because you guys could uplift one another.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely say having certain people around you can definitely ruin that purpose that God is calling you to do, because sometimes when God is calling you to go to a certain place, every person that was a part of the old version of you are not able to tag along. So that's why certain friendships or certain groups can definitely ruin your purpose, because whenever you're following Christ and you're trying to be obedient and trying to be pure, but doesn't mean you're perfect. Sometimes you may have certain people trying to influence you to say, hey man, I know you're having a tough time, just come on out, man, I smoked that joint, or I got a couple drinks, I got some girls waiting for you. And now you putting yourself in a place where it's kind of like damaging that spiritual growth.
And maybe you knew you weren't supposed to, but you're just going to tag along because you're maybe scared to lose that friendship.
Or you could just be going through a rough time at the moment, and you just rather give in to those old things that, yep, you got it.
Yeah.
Yep, so now we're going to move right into the second topic.
Yep, so the second topic is, are people really who they present themselves to be? So let me ask you this question. How important is it to pay attention to someone's actions instead of just their words?
I think it's very important to pay attention to people's actions than their words, because some people can see you like when you're out and about, and they might say, hey man, I see you doing your thing on social media, man, you killing it, man, I'm loving it, I'm loving what you and your girl is doing, but they never support it. They never like it. They never even share it with nobody, or they don't even write you in your DMs and say, hey man, I like that episode, it really touched me on what I'm going through, and it's really influencing, and I love what you're doing. They don't even do that, but they like it and they love it. But the thing is, whenever you like following God and God has a purpose for you and a bright future, is to not take it personal, because everything comes within its seasons.
Yeah.
But how does that perspective prefer to you, beautiful?
Yep. So for me, what I think is, and I know the question is asking how important is it to pay attention to someone's actions, but it's also important to pay attention to their words, because if you really listen on, let's say somebody's telling you about themselves, and certain words may slip up that they may not realize subconsciously, but you're paying attention to them saying that, and it's kind of telling of who they are. Or it can give a little bit of like imposter syndrome, like are they really who they say they are, or is it like that's a red flag? You know what I mean?
And sometimes people say certain things because they don't really know what to say to you, because they haven't been around you for a while. So they just, they want to talk about maybe like your accomplishments.
Right.
And, that's good and all, but, it's like, if you don't really like it, there's no need to speak about it, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to take it personal.
Yeah, it's important also, like, if somebody uses the words I, me, this, that, that can be telling of what they think about themselves and where they kind of place themselves in society, which is great to have confidence, but it can read a little selfish.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So that's just my take on it.
Yeah, so if you guys made it this far into the podcast, we have a few questions that we would like to ask you guys, and we just thank you just for making it this far. Naomi, you want to let them know the questions?
Yeah, so sound off in the comments below. Have you ever had someone show you through their actions who they really are?
Mm-hmm.
What's one lesson you've learned about trusting people's actions instead of their words?
Mm-hmm.
And what's a quality you look for when deciding who to keep close in your life?
Yeah, and definitely let us know your perspectives. We would love to hear your comments, so definitely leave that within the comment section. Now we're going to move forward and jump into topic 3.
All right, so topic 3 is healthy boundaries aren't hate.
Why do you think so many people feel guilty about setting boundaries?
Okay, so when I think about this question, I think about wanting to please everybody and being afraid to say no.
Mm-hmm.
That fear of rejection. What are others going to think of you if you start putting boundaries into place?
Yeah.
Are they going to think, oh, this person is switching up? They're, somebody brand new. They're acting brand new. And maybe that can hold a person back from setting boundaries.
Yes,
just,
for sure.
Being so wrapped up in what other people think about them.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they're just not as confident or sure in themselves to set that boundary just yet.
Yeah, and some people are afraid to sometimes set those boundaries because they don't want to lose those friend groups and certain people. But sometimes I feel like it's important to set those boundaries, because sometimes when God is calling you to set those boundaries, because maybe he has something bigger for you. Maybe he wants to put you in certain places to allow you to grow. And sometimes you just got to just take that step,
Yeah,
because sometimes that just might be the call to just really transition your life.
That was well put. I like that.
Yeah.
Not everyone is meant to go with you in every season of your life.
And not everyone that speaks well has your best interest at heart.
Pay attention to the people who continue to show up, support your growth, and bring value to your life.
And don't be afraid to create healthy boundaries when they're needed, because who you allow close to you can influence where you're headed.
And share this episode with someone who may need to hear it.
Thank you for spending time with us here on Room 47 Podcast. And if this episode connected with you, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
We'll see you next time.
We appreciate you all for being here with us. Until then, keep growing, stay intentional, and we'll see you soon in the next episode.